Okay, so this congruent statement tells us that VUT is congruent to VUF. And they want us to find out what angle T is congruent to. So we can look in the statement here and find where T is in the statement. It's right there, T. And so it has to be congruent to the angle that's in the same place in the other statement of the congruence. So in other words, angle T has to be congruent to angle F. The reason is, if they knew this was all true, here's the thing, this idea comes first. They've measured whatever it is, they know that these two triangles are congruent. And you'll notice these two angles are congruent to each other, these two angles are congruent to each other, and these two angles are congruent to each other. You could like fold this up onto this and it would all match perfectly, because this triangle is exactly the same as this one, just reflected down like this, right? So, how we say that is you write the three, you know, this first, if you write this first one right like this, and then the first one you can write whatever order you want, and then the other one you just have to write the letters in the order of the things that are congruent. So for example, VU, line segment VU would have to be congruent to line segment UV. Now check this out, VU and UV, they're actually the same, aren't they? It's the same line segment is a side of this triangle and is a side of this triangle. So of course, this thing is congruent to itself anyway. But if we took UT, that's the second and the third one, it has to be congruent to UF. UF. And if you look at the drawing, UT, there, see how it has 2 marks on it? And UF, it has 2 marks on it? That's the way of marking that these two are congruent to each other. Just from looking at the diagram, since they gave me the diagram, I can see that VT has to be congruent to, oops, I want that one to be wiggly, to VF, right? VF, because they both have the 3 marks on them, right? 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And of course, look in the congruent statement, VT is the first one and the third one. VF is the first one and the third one. They're in corresponding places in the the correspondence statement, the congruence statement.